here to Missoula, it looks like, to pursue your undergraduate degree in psychology. Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about Paradise Dental? What is the work that you do there in Missoula, and how long the company's been around? A little of the background of the company.
Yeah, absolutely. So you don't have to apologize for me growing up in Billings. It's not nearly as bad as everybody says it is. I can promise that. Yeah, out of Paradise Dental Technologies, first I just want to say it's a huge honor to be here on behalf of our CEO and founder, Linda Miller. She wasn't able to be here today, but she started our company in her two-car garage up in the South Hills back in 2000. And she started our company with a vision for having really amazing, ergonomic, American-made dental hand instruments that weren't going to kill you, the patients, or the risks of the clinicians. And so 22 years later, we're still going strong. We are in the, of course, the manufacturing sector of the work world. We have about 70 employees where we are. That has grown, our headcount has gone up about 20 individuals in the past year. So COVID actually ironically did a lot of great things for our company. All of our raw materials come from inside the United States. So we didn't have a lot of the supply chain issues and import issues that a lot of other manufacturers were facing. We are looking to grow. We're about to break ground on a 15,000 square foot facility, hopefully in in a couple months or so. But there's just a little bit of construction happening in this area, so we're waiting for some permitting and things like that. And so there's been quite a long journey also having some family first business practices and really kind of bringing our company into the 21st century and beyond when it comes to our workforce.
Well, let's talk about your workforce a little bit. I'm really curious to know more about the industry. You said that you started in 2000 in a two-car garage.
Yes.
And so, or that you, the founder did.
Yes.
And so, is that typical in your industry? What's the field like? Who are your colleagues? Who are your competitors, really?
That's a great question. So there's another dental instrument manufacturer actually here in town called American Eagle Instruments. That was also, funny, very long story short, our founder was also a co-founder of that company. We also have Diversified Plastics and Lead One Sources here in Missoula as well. I'm aware Westpaw over in Bozeman is another manufacturer in Montana. Our workforce has really kind of grown and evolved over time. You know, it was, we've had to kind of, again, reevaluate our work schedules, our work week, and what all that looks like to attract and retain more of a diverse in terms of, Title VII population, but also diverse in terms of skill sets and backgrounds and stuff like that.
So are you attracting folks to your company who are from this area? Are people moving here and working with you? What's the culture like around?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So a lot of, I'm sure these guys are also able to speak to that, a lot of people are looking for a change. We have people that have worked in big tech with huge, monstrous salaries and huge, monstrous projects they have to work on, and they're over that. And they want something a little bit more manageable. We have people that have relocated to Montana, and I'm sure these guys will touch on this also, but the wages in Montana are not quite what they are in California and Washington and Oregon and things like that. But they're looking, again, for something different, and that's kind of what we have to offer.
So let's talk a little bit about the idea of building that workforce while supporting those folks in their lives. What were the kinds of challenges that you found that some of those newer employees were bringing with them? As the topic is for this summit, childcare. Even availability for aging parents or aging grandparents, or spouses that got a job and relocated them here, or maybe their spouse got a different job that makes them not available to help out as much with the kids, either in the mornings or in the afternoons. And so that meant we had to kind of reevaluate or be a lot more flexible on start times and end times and lunch breaks and things like that. So it sounds like you were looking at how to make the schedules that people were working more sort of family-friendly and flexible at the same time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in order to attract and retain people. And we even, and we might touch on this later, but we have implemented a program called the Reduced Hours Program out of Paradise, where our team is able to work 32 hours a week, but they get paid for 40 hours a week.
And that has created a ton of work-life balance and really incredible retention. Our turnover was less than 2% last year. So a lot of people like having more life back, which is weird. Who knew?
So, can you tell me a little bit about how you got there?
Yeah, absolutely. So this was actually pre-COVID. A lot of people think that this happened as a result of the pandemic, but in about April of 2019, we were having an interesting problem where our inventory level was getting higher and higher and higher. So we were having inventory levels of 140 to 150%, which sounds like a good problem to have, but that means a lot of your money is getting tied up in raw materials and product that isn't selling. And so we're a small family-owned company, and when we start talking about, oh, let's shut down production for a week, let's do this, everyone panics. Even though we try to say, it's a good thing, we promise, like it's not. There's something going on. They're lying to us. My team and I came together. I worked with the production manager, the controller, and our scheduling manager to kind of do some math backwards on, okay, we don't want to punish anybody for being amazing at their job. So this whole idea started initially as summer hours. You know, we figured, okay, by attrition, if we take 8 hours away from everybody, our inventory level should come down by about, down to about 120, 125%, which is where we want it to be. Again, it was supposed to be temporary. They still were going to get paid their full shift. Again, you don't want to punish them. And at the end of August, we figured August, September, we would have a healthier inventory level and we'd go back to 40 hours a week. But our inventory can only come down to about 142%. And which was kind of on the heels of also, being in production, we're able to kind of play around. And I graduated in psychology from the University of Montana, so it's fun to have a little psychological experiment at work here. But everybody became more efficient. We used to have these very hard and fast metrics that you have to bend X amount of widgets per day, and we took those away and said, just do your best. And everybody's numbers actually went up. It turns out nobody wanted to go back to 40 hours a week, and our workers' comp premium, again, we're manufacturing, so there's a lot of room for repetitive motion injuries. We had a physical therapist come in and actually analyze the work that we do and tell us what kind of ergonomic stretches we can do every other hour to mitigate that. And so that was in place already. But our workers' comp premium in 2019 was about $80,000 a year, and our controller just paid that a couple months ago, and it's now $18,000 a year. So, yeah, a little bit of a drop.
Wow. Talk about an unexpected benefit. That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I can imagine that everyone in your company appreciates the benefits
Yes.
of a 4-day work week. And
Yes.
it sounds like your bottom line. Let's talk a little bit in particular about the folks who do have children that they're providing
Yes.
care for in that sort of age bracket. What do you see as the particular benefits to working families of a schedule like that and of your flexible scheduling?
Yeah, sure. So the biggest benefit so far that we've seen is, our plant opens at 5 o'clock in the morning, which is ridiculous. I know that 5 o'clock in the morning. But it's open from 5 in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon. So with some families, it's better for them to start at that really early time. The partner can handle it, a grandparent can handle it, getting their kid ready and, to school and things like that. But then they're done. If they start at 5, they're done for the day at 1 in the afternoon. So that's plenty of time to go home, run errands, do what they need, then pick up their child after school. But for some individuals, it works better to be coming later, maybe starting 8 or 8:30, and then they have accommodations for their child later in the afternoon. So that's really kind of how it's panned out. Weirdly enough, most people like to come in at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I guess they just like to, especially in the summer, have more of their activity back.
That's great. I can imagine too that for folks who are paying for childcare, only having to pay for 4 days, that's a lot more money left in their paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Cool. Thank you. We're going to come back to some more about how you know about the benefits, but thank you so much for describing what's going on.